Tonight on News 5 Live, cargo vessel sails away amid the ongoing impasse between the Port of Belize and stevedores. Both parties are yet to come together to resolve the labor dispute. A man is shot and killed during a brawl at a football game in Ladyville. And new details emerge in a wild shootout near the Pueblo Nuevo ferry. These stories and more coming up on News 5 Live.
DigiWallet, in partnership with UNICEF, is making financial inclusion a reality. As a selected financial technology provider, DigiWallet leveraged its robust digital platform to disperse a total of $720,000 to 900 vulnerable migrant children and their families. This program is a part of the Cash Plus pilot project, implemented in collaboration with the government of Belize and the Belize Red Cross. DigiWallet and UNICEF's partnership supports the government of Belize's timely response to social and economic shocks using advanced and secure technology.
¿Qué más va a llevar ahorita?
Me quedan 97.80 todavía.
Guárdelo.
DigiWallet's platform ensured that recipients received their funds instantly at no cost. Beneficiaries were then able to purchase essential goods, pay for their utilities, and do much more with DigiWallet. This innovative approach of digital payment is an important milestone in advancing the social protection system in the country, allowing them to reach the most vulnerable children. We remain committed to working in partnership with key stakeholders to continue financially empowering the Belizean society by offering an accessible, safe, and useful digital platform. DigiWallet and UNICEF, bringing equal access to financial services with the support of the Government of the United States of America through the State Department, Bureau of Population, Refugees, and Migration.
Watch The Truth of God with Pastor Gino Jennings of the First Church of Our Lord Jesus Christ every Sunday morning at 8 a.m. exclusively on Channel 5 Belize. The Truth of God with Pastor Gino Jennings every Sunday at 8 a.m. on Channel 5 Belize.
It's good to keep the environment clean. BSWAMA, step up the pace. They're going places to manage your waste. So make we stand and make well sure. No garbage left on the seashore. The whole of Belize we stay clean, cause we know say worth much more. We have pretty environment. So when you see the garbage on the ground, go after me and just bag it on.
Cleanliness has always been second nature to us. So let's work together to keep our surroundings beautiful and healthy.
No garbage in it.
This Mother's Day, celebrate that special woman who holds your family together. Start her day off right, complete with love and smiles. But why stop there? At Brothers Habet, we believe in celebrating moms all month long. We're offering big discounts all throughout May, like 15% off all Moen kitchen and bathroom faucets and accessories, 15% off all Pentapaints, and much more. And for the ultimate Mother's Day gift, purchase any Pentapaint during May and get a chance to win big. Every week, we're giving away $100 to a lucky mom, and at the end of the month, one lucky mom will receive a grand prize of $1,000. Give mom the gift she truly deserves from Brothers Habet. Happy Mother's Day to all the super moms out there, and we hope to see you in store soon.
This newscast is brought to you by the Belize Bank Limited. Our country, your bank.
Good evening. Welcome to News 5 Live for Friday, May 5th. I am Annalyn Apollonia. Tonight, there is still no progress on the pending discharge of cargo vessels scheduled to arrive at the Port of Belize Limited. Despite the Christian Workers Union and the management of PBL expressing willingness to sit down and negotiate a settlement of the existing logjam, neither party has come to the table to hammer out a new agreement. Earlier today, the CWU, led by its president, Evan Mose Hyde, met with officials from the Ministry of Labor. A proposal was tabled and was subsequently rejected by the Port of Belize. In a statement issued earlier today, the company put across its disappointment with the way things have unfolded. The release goes on to say, quote, We wish to inform you, our customers, and the country as a whole that the MV Aries 056 will not be discharging or loading any of its containers at the Port of Belize this week. The CWU has unilaterally opted to renege on our previous agreements of working larger ships with a two-gang rotation, which ensured a continuous work schedule of offloading and unloading, which is carried out everywhere else in the world. The CWU instructed our stevedores not to attend work and have been absent now for the last 3 15-hour shifts. This has caused the MV Aries to now depart the Port of Belize. This has consequently caused financial damage to all stakeholders, including the domestic consumers of Belize, end quote. News 5 spoke with Most High this afternoon following a meeting with the Labor Department.
We put forward a proposal to solve the contention. The port countered. This happened after midday yesterday, so I would say maybe late in the evening, and then later on in the night we were countered by PBL. We had already gotten an invite from the Ministry of Labour, the Labour Commissioner, to come this morning to meet. So this morning is our first real coming together officially with the involvement of the Ministry of Labour. Out of that, we had a vote on the counter proposal coming from PBL, from our members. They turned that down, and then we returned here to re-engage with Port and the Ministry of Labour. What has happened is that Port has asked for some time, so we are going to be on standby, waiting to hear when we are going to get together again and see if we can. Essentially, we have a particular part of the proposals that we are far apart, and the only way you close these gaps, in my experience, is by getting around a table and really grinding through them. So we are on this side really eager to get around a table. We don't care if it's in the middle of the night. We don't care if it's on Sunday. We are here to get that business done because it's important for us to move on from this.
On Thursday, the Christian Workers Union called out the Ministry of Labour for failing to intervene in the dispute between the waterfront workers and their employer. According to the CWU president, the Labour Department plays an important role in a tripartite body that includes the union and the Port of Belize. So why did government hesitate in getting involved with the dispute? That's what we asked the CWU president earlier today.
I didn't put the Ministry of Labour on the witness stand to find out the matters that we are dealing with here are very serious. We're just very, they say better late than never. Huh? So coming in, as we have said to them, this I did say to them, is that history has shown Ministry of Labour being present really makes a difference. When you put CWU, stevedore negotiating team, in a room with just PBL management reps, it's always very contentious. We don't get a lot of momentum. You have the full tripartite spirit working, we have found success. So they're in, that's what is important to us right now. We are here to continue this process, right? Obviously, what we would have preferred would have been for the ship to be worked to mitigate the impact on the client. Just have our gang work, and it would buy us more time to really, you really would be ticking certain boxes. So, we both share a concern about the client. Let's deal with that. And then we have a couple of days before there is a return, when we have the space to see if we can find a middle ground with this dispute that we're having.
On Thursday, PBL management expressed that it was willing to come to the table with the CWU to hammer out an agreement that is mutually beneficial for both parties. Where are we with that, considering the fact that they still have not called a meeting with you guys to discuss the way forward?
Well, I don't know that it would be very productive for me to critique PBL right now. What we want to do is to negotiate with PBL. We want to be around a table with them with mutual commitment to a solution. That's what we want. I think we, to some extent, our exchange of proposals yesterday is a healthy thing. Even though we know that, you know, our members, we are part on the most consequential part of that. Still, the process of proposing and counter-proposing, that's how you find a solution. So let us build on that. We want to build on that. And again, we repeat to Belize, to the clients, to everybody, we want to sit down and we are not watching the clock, we're not watching the calendar. Our team is ready to do the work now.
Late this evening, the Christian Workers Union fired off a press release responding to the Port of Belize Limited. That statement says, quote, CWU offered options for a prompt resolution of the current unlawful lockout by PBL. Notwithstanding the binding collective bargaining agreement, hours of work provisions, stevedores agreed to work the larger container vessels, particularly for BEC and Marine and Services, requiring more than 15 hours to load and unload using a two-gang rotation. However, the deal breaker continues to be PBL ignoring the Essential Services Arbitration Tribunal March 30, 2022 order and its refusal to honor its agreement to compensate stevedores for the income loss with sugar going south to the port of Big Creek, end quote.
In respect of the compensation settlement, PBL is saying that they're essentially at zero and you guys started off at 5 million. They came back again and they're saying they're still at zero, now you guys are at 3.5 million. What is the fate of that? Because obviously you're on two opposite ends of the spectrum.
So we're far apart, and that's, but I mean, newsflash, that's how it works with negotiations, right? We have our position, they have their position. I won't negotiate in front of cameras. We will negotiate with the right people around the table, and then we will make our arguments, you make your arguments, and we see who can find a way forward.
Coming up, 4 injured and a 5th drowned during high-powered crossfire, that is. Find out the details when we come back.
Hello, friends. I'm Dr. Bob Roberts with another 60-second sermon from God's Word. The Bible says, whereby are given unto us exceeding great and precious promises, that by these you might be partakers of the divine nature. Dr. Donald Gray Bornhouse tells a story of the wife of a French pastor who had made a promise box. She wrote out in French more than 200 promises and put them in the box. Through the years, this box was used by the family to teach them to trust in the Lord. Later, during the war, the only food they had was messes of potato peelings from a local restaurant. Her children became emaciated and they cried to her for food. In one of her more tragic moments, she turned to the promise box in desperation and prayed for a single promise to meet her needs. Being blinded by her tears, she reached out for the promise box and accidentally knocked it over. The promises showered down all around her, and she suddenly realized in that moment of desperation that all the promises of God were for her and only needed to be claimed by faith. If you're going through a trial right now, turn to God and the Bible, God's promise box, and you will find peace and hope. Today's 60-second sermon has been presented by Christian Foundations of Faith in cooperation with the Baptist churches in your area.
Three years ago, I decided to provide respite care to young Jose who lives at the children's home. So now, during the Easter, summer, and Christmas holidays, he would come and spend time with me and my daughter at our home. Sometimes he even comes on weekends. We try to engage in as many fun activities as possible, giving him all the care and attention he deserves. Even though he is with us only part-time, he has become part of my small family, and we always look forward to spending time with him during the holidays. I could not have been happier to have made this decision.
Contact the Department of Human Services and find out how you can become a foster or adoptive parent and be that heart of gold.
sound of Dangraga Dream Ballers, who makes a lot of noise in the regular season of the BEBL, but always chokes in the playoffs when it matters most. Buried alive in 2018 at the hands of the Category 5 Benny's Belize Hurricanes. In 2023, they somehow rose from the grave. So now, we've got a score to settle. Round 2 on our home turf. This is what the Belize District has been waiting for. Payback time. And it's all going down this Friday, May 5 at the Belize Civic Center, 9 p.m. sharp. The rematch between your city favorites, Benny's Belize Hurricanes and the Dangraga Dream Ballers, fighting for home court advantage throughout the playoffs. In a battle dubbed as Rice and Beans versus Hudut. Rice and Beans, nice. Nobody should want to miss this showdown, where the top 2 teams in the BEBL, your Hurricanes, led by Glency Coupe Lopez, Victor Vito Evans, Kirk Shabba Smith, Jamel Harrison, Chris Fraser, go up against the Dream Ballers from Dangraga, who will answer with the big giant American import Dominique Woodson, Edgar Boogie Mitchell, and Jamel Campbell. This will be a war to the end.
If a war, then a war to the end. Me not run, let me pray.
Remember, it's this Friday night at 9, Benny's Belize Hurricanes versus Dangraga Dream Ballers. The halftime show will feature the hottest band in the land, Bossa B. Other halftime entertainment will include the Benny's $4,000 half-court shot, as well as smart and cellular cell phone and tablets giveaways throughout the game. There will also be a full-hour after-game party with Bossa B Band to end the Hurricanes' regular season homestand.
Hurricanes are one big family.
The after party will be at Thirsty Thursdays. Sponsors.
Yo, respect the city. Love the game. Family. Belize Hurricanes. Hurricanes are one big family.
Another murder was recorded overnight, this time in Ladyville. The details of the tragedy are that a brawl between a pair of siblings and a group of men from the village ended with James Bainton being shot and killed. His older brother was stabbed and received cut wounds to the face but survived. All indications are that Bainton was shot from behind on the football field near the community center in the village. News 5's Dwayne Moody reports.
20-year-old James Bainton was at a football game being held in Ladyville, along with several others who were in attendance. An altercation ensued between Bainton, his older brother, and a group of persons. While Bainton was leaving, someone pulled out a handgun and fired a single shot that caught him in the back. Bainton was rushed to the BDF medical facility, but was pronounced dead.
Watch a game and thing, and they said a whole thing happened with between and the argument and stuff, and they fight and everything. The boy punch in his nose. They don't punch in his nose already. And my 2 neighbors, they made try to tell he come home, and as they grab and they made run to come home. The boy still shoot and has to turn it back. They said my older brother did and he get in, and the police they turn around and they beat my brother after my brother don't get stabbed up. They turn around and they beat he like dog.
Your older brother get stabbed too?
Yes, Alina, his face they stabbed him with paint or something.
The incident was witnessed by many who ran for cover when the gunshot echoed in the area. A cousin of the deceased says that she was at a nearby shop when she heard the gunshot and saw when Bainton collapsed to the ground.
From over the Chinese, I see that I hear the gunshot fired, and when I see over the field, from the shop to the field, you could have see. And I see the person drop, then they holler that James dropped, they shoot James, I did.
2 persons were found with injuries, one stab wounds and the other one was beaten up. Those persons were taken to the hospital, and moments later police got a call of a shooting. And upon arrival they found the lifeless body of a male person. He was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead on arrival.
It's a difficult time for the family because back in December, Bainton's mom was also shot in the back but survived the ordeal and is in need of medical help. Then the patriarch of the family was buried last month. His sister tells News 5 that it is a difficult time for the family because they want justice. To make matters worse, the alleged shooter and her now deceased brother were friends.
I don't like if nobody know who killed her, because I don't want animal or anything like that, because my dad don't shoot my mom in December already, and that was like, it got us like that. The boy don't come out of jail, pass here, the grin up, like everything is okay, and he that their friend too, the same boy who shoot my brother last night, that all of them are a group of friends. And then my brother claimed me as friend. This young boy will shoot my brother. He tell we playing that boy that he's friend, and then a friend for a long time, and that boy got his back and kind of thing. So if somebody got your back, why as you turn your back, you are shoot there? It really hurt because we never expect them to just go and kill my brother like that. I understand everybody fight and nobody perfect, but why just kill her like that?
Compol Chester Williams told the media today that they are searching for the suspect.
We are sure that the shooting is as a result of the earlier fight. We are looking for one suspect at this time. The murder weapon for that has also been found, but we're still trying to find the suspect.
Known to police?
Yes, he's known to police.
Dwayne Moody for News 5.
4 persons are being hospitalized and a 5th reportedly drowned as a result of a shootout between 2 groups of men who were involved in a high-speed chase on Thursday afternoon in the Corozal district. The incident ensued shortly after 1 p.m. near the Pueblo Nuevo ferry and ended when one of the vehicles overturned near Progressive Village and the other headed towards Orange Walk Town, with police intercepting it. And in the aftermath of it all, police reportedly retrieved over 40 expended casings from the scene, 2 high-powered weapons, and a variety of unspent ammunition. Marian Ali went north and filed this report.
Reports are that the occupants of this mangled light green Ford Escape were in hot pursuit of those who were in this GMC Terrain SUV as they neared the northern approach to the Pueblo Nuevo ferry just after 1 on Thursday afternoon. News 5 understands that the occupants of the Ford Escape opened fire on those in the GMC. Randolph Crawford, who was in the GMC, jumped into the river and drowned. A workman at the nearby construction site of the Pueblo Nuevo Bridge shared with News 5 how the incident played out.
When the shots began, we think it was like fireworks and things, and then we saw it was shots, and then the man jumped in the water, and when the man jumped, the shot was gone. Too many shots to the man in the water. Then the man goes, and the car was gone.
Okay, so he jumped from where?
From the road.
Out of a vehicle or from?
No, just jump.
Just standing on the ferry?
Yeah, no, the ferry was in the other side. Okay. Yeah, and then the man was there. We not saw nothing because the trees, just saw the man jump, and the man began to swim.
The witness explained that he and his co-workers were in fear for their own safety and did not render assistance to Crawford.
He almost reached the nearby the other side. Almost, then he began to help me.
Scream.
Yeah, scream 3 times. The man go down, up, down. The shooting was still happening.
And the shots were coming from what direction?
From that direction, from the ferry.
Today, our cameras captured this Coast Guard vessel combing the river for clues of where Crawford might be located. Meanwhile, when the crossfire ceased, the workmen said the other occupants of the 2 vehicles turned around and sped off in the same direction that they had arrived, with the Ford Escape again in pursuit. It was during this part of the chase that the Ford turned over. Inside, 24-year-old Stanislaus Daniel O'Neill of Belize City and another known at this time only as Bam were injured. Both were taken to the Corozal Community Hospital, but Bam was transferred to the KHMH in a critical condition. 2 persons who were in the GMC suffered gunshot wounds and sought medical treatment at the Northern Medical Plaza in Orange Walk Town. 30-year-old Benigno Loria suffered multiple gunshot wounds and is in a critical condition, and 22-year-old Sergio Hall, who was shot to the abdomen, is stable. Randolph Crawford was one of 4 men who, in March of 2019, were charged for the armed robbery of money changers at the northern border. Crawford and one of the attackers were also charged with the attempted murder of one of the money changers. After the attack, they headed towards Corozal Town in an SUV. Reporting for News 5, I'm Marion Ali.
This evening, Commissioner of Police Chester Williams gave the media the information that the police have thus far on the incident. While he said the police are still trying to tie together some pieces, what they suspect at this time is that the incident was drug-related because of the main player involved, Benino Larios. Williams also said they recovered a number of weapons and rounds of ammunition from the scene.
Police were notified of a shooting incident near the Copperbank Ferry in Corozal Town. Based on that information received, the police responded to the area where certain information was obtained. A search of the area, police discovered a number of 223 expended shells and 9mm likewise, 9mm expended shells. A further search of the area and just upon entering Progressive Village, the police came across a vehicle that overturned on the left-hand side of the highway when traveling towards Orange Walk. Near that vehicle, police found two individuals who were suffering from varying degrees of injuries from the traffic accident. A search of the area and police found one high-powered rifle and one pellet gun. The rifle and the individuals were taken into custody, and the individuals were taken to the Corozal Polyclinic and later to Orange Walk or the Northern Regional Hospital, and later on one was transferred to KHMH. Moments later, police also obtained information that two persons arrived at the Northern Medical Plaza with what appeared to be gunshot injuries. Those persons are one Mouse, who is, his name is Benigno Laura, and the other one is another person, I think Sergio Hall, I think that's the name of the other person. Those persons drove themselves to the hospital and were admitted. They're still admitted at this time. At this time, police are still trying to ascertain basically what transpired, but we do believe that the ones who were in the vehicle that overturned were the ones who were involved in the shooting with those who arrived at Northern Medical Plaza with the gunshot injuries. There are a number of things that we're doing to put the pieces together, and hopefully whenever these persons are in a position to speak to the police, we will be given more details and should be able to know how to proceed.
Sir, Mr. Loria has been targeted before. Is this incident believed to be drug-related?
Certainly, yes, we believe it's drug-related.
They are no strangers to the police. I think some years back they were involved in an attempted murder up north at the border crossing with Peceros and all of that, sir. So we're looking at whether that is maybe tied to this whole thing?
No, we don't think so. You would know that a couple months ago, Lauria was targeted on Chatamal Boulevard here in Belize City, where he was shot multiple times. And just like he did yesterday, he drove himself to the hospital here in Belize City.
After the break, Dangriga murder is the result of a previous stabbing incident. We'll tell you about that, but first, here's the weather update with data from the Belize Met Service.
Brian and Marta
now more concerned than enthusiastic, decided to visit Mrs. Maria, who had a store in front of the public beach. They walked all the way down the main street to the store. Upon arriving at the place, they could not help but think for a long time the public beach no longer existed because the sea had been getting in and it had eaten the beach. And it was impossible not to see that the sea waves were passing under Miss Maria's store.
Morning, sweet kids. How are you doing? What are you up to?
Hi, Miss Maria. We are doing a special school homework, but now that we have arrived, we already see some changes. When did waves start passing underneath your house?
Oh boy, this has been like this for years. But I'm going to tell you one thing, it's gotten worse lately. Many hotels have put stones on the beach. These are called breakwaters, and they use them to build up the sand, and that has made things worse here. All of this is a problem because the beach on this side went off faster.
And have you noticed anything weird about the weather in recent years?
The weather is crazy, girl. And as you know, this last week it rained and the wind was so strong and oops, it blew the roof off my house. And several people who lived here on the beach suffered the same thing. And every time the sea meets the shore, even more. I also must change the piles often because they are rotting. The worst thing is that everything is an extra expense. You change it today and after a while you have to change it again because it's not like the sea is going to stop entering. These piles have to be changed more than ever now, and these rains that are becoming more frequent and stronger. These things were not happening before, neither the heavy rains nor the strong winds.
Martha and Brian said goodbye to Maria and left the store, jumping to the part of the beach where the waves did not reach to avoid getting their shoes wet. They were both concerned about the situation. Apparently, everyone in the village was being affected by climate change. They decided that the best thing was to return to Professor Lewis and try to better understand what climate change was all about and how they could help save the people.
You have been a safe driver all your life when an unavoidable accident happens. But this does not mean that your insurance premium must increase. With RF&G's Accident Forgiveness Program, safe drivers will not lose their no-claims discounts because of those minor, unavoidable accidents. For more information on RF&G's Accident Forgiveness Program, contact us at 223-5734. When it comes to motor insurance, it pays to get it right with RF&G Insurance, a Road Group company.
This May, things are going to be amazing at Benny's. Find great gifts for moms such as Pyrex Bakeware, Chicago Cutlery Knife Sets, Corningware, Snapware, Corel Dinnerware, and much more at amazing prices. Also check out our impressive line of Sankey appliances and other household items. Take advantage of these amazing deals and discounts all May long, only at Benny's. Quality and savings.
Smart introduces Real Unlimited Postpaid Plans, providing customers with unlimited talk, unlimited text, and unlimited data. Now that's a real great deal. With Smart Plus, Share 1 and 2, and Enterprise 1 and 2 plans, you can talk as much as you want, text as much as you want, and for the first time ever in Belize, you can enjoy unlimited data with your postpaid plan. So come in and sign up for an unlimited postpaid plan and enjoy limitless possibilities. In addition, other plans such as the Flex Junior, Choice, and Select have been boosted with a lot more talk, text, and data, providing you with the best value for your budget. Be unlimited with Smart. It's time to power your dollar with Smart.
On Thursday night, we reported on the murder of 35-year-old Elroy Quinones. The father of four was a stone's throw away from his home playing with two of his sons and their dog when a gunman came up to them and opened fire on Quinones. It was a callous crime that has left the family traumatized. Today, Commissioner of Police Chester Williams told the media that the homicide is possibly due to a stabbing incident that occurred months ago. He went on to say that the alleged culprit is soon to be charged for the crime.
At this time, the motive for that shooting seems to have been as a result of a stabbing that took place about 2 to 3 months ago in Dangriga, where it was alleged that the now deceased Quinones had inflicted stab wound on the individual. Our investigators are working that matter intensely, and we currently have the suspect in custody. We have recovered the murder weapon, and we believe that by the end of the day today or by tomorrow morning, that person should be charged with murder.
The open war of words between Chester Williams and Shine Barrow continues. Today, the media caught up with the Commissioner of Police to get some clarification on the reports that the cost of acquiring a gun license has skyrocketed. Word to News 5 is that the United Democratic Party is calling for a moratorium and a review of the criteria necessary for receiving a gun license. Paul Williams responded by calling out the opposition leader and his party.
I won't say the UDP, because one man created the havoc. All of a sudden, one man have the solution to every problem. UDP was in power for 13 years. Many gun licenses were issued, including to some criminals. I can tell you, because I have revoked some of them. And the time that they were there and gun licenses were being issued to criminals, nothing was said. Now, all of a sudden, there is an issue for one person to decide who gets a gun license. That is the law. The commissioner never make the law. And during the time that UDP were in office, a number of persons who received license were also involved in some type of criminal activities. I can tell you though that in my tenure, every license holder who runs afoul of the law, I do not hesitate to revoke the license. Ask the UDP if that happened under them. The answer is no. So I don't want for one person to believe that, oh, you have the answer, the solution to every problem, but internally within your own party, where there is havoc, you can solve it. You have 31 or 30 standard bearers with yourself, 31. I want to keep and live in peace. If you can't control 31 people, how are you going to control a nation with 400,000 people?
This afternoon at Lopez Mateus Park in Belize City, the Ministry of Home Affairs and the Belize Police Department kicked off its annual basketball tournament. Dubbed the William Dawson Sprite Basketball Tournament, the competition unites young men from various communities in Belize City and surrounding villages. It is an initiative that was started by the Leadership Intervention Unit under late Chairman William Dawson. Today, the series of games kicked off in his honor.
I must say it must be such a glorious moment for the family of Mr. Dawson to see that this year is going to be the first year that this event is going to be hosted in his honor. And yes, it gives us great pride and privilege to have been able to do so, because Dawson was a very huge part of what we do within the police department and at LIU. I must also say that this is also the first year the tournament is also coming as a program under LIU, and so I want to give recognition to all those hardworking members of LIU.
I think we don't really understand the scope of this tournament and the impact that it has, because there's a whole component that is attached to it aside from just playing basketball, which we all love. Whenever a game ends, members from the Department of Youth Services, counselors, trainers, meet up with the players for a life skills session afterwards. I was able to sit in on one of those sessions at the Mexico Center last year. And it was incredible. It was an incredible thing to witness. The counselors from the community rehab department teaching our young men life skills, teaching our young men conflict resolution and management and how to communicate better with one another. That is something so important and valuable. And I know that that is behind the scenes, but it truly goes to what the LIU represents, which is a holistic, all-of-government approach that, like I said, was William's vision. And so it's a huge and proud moment for me to see this tournament here today. He would love to have been here.
The coronavirus disease, otherwise known as COVID-19, is no longer deemed a public health emergency of international concern. The World Health Organization made the announcement today after more than 3 years since the virus first emerged. But the organization quickly added that the shift in status does not mean that COVID-19 is over as a global health threat, pointing to deaths that the disease is still claiming every few minutes globally. The World Health Organization declared the pandemic a public health emergency of international concern at the end of January 2020, and since then the virus has claimed almost 7 million lives. But the virus is still very much present, with well over 500,000 confirmed cases globally and over 3,000 deaths just 2 weeks ago. In Belize, the pandemic was first detected in March 2020 in San Pedro and spread throughout the country, claiming 688 lives officially and over 70,700 recorded cases of the virus. When we return, celebrating Pet Month with Belize's own dog whisperer.
Taking its name from the venerable father of the nation, the George Price Highway stretches 77 miles from Belize City to Benqueviejo. Originally built in the 1930s, this cross-country highway system is the artery that links Belize to Central America at the western border with Guatemala. That connection facilitates overland trade, supporting Belize's economic development. Winding its way across the scenic countryside, the George Price Highway from Roaring Creek to Esperanza has been fully reconstructed to meet international standards, with particular emphasis on road safety. A shorter and hassle-free commute is best enjoyed when everyone obeys the traffic laws. To reduce the number and frequency of road traffic accidents, it means that a seatbelt must be worn at all times and the speed limit observed when traveling along the highway. It also means that pedestrians must use sidewalks and crosswalks where available. Buses should only board and discharge passengers at a designated bus stop. Road safety is everyone's responsibility. It begins with you.
With eCash, bill payment is extremely convenient, and all utility companies accept eCash payments. What's even better? You get to split bills with your roommates, siblings, or whoever you desire. Simply open your eCash app, go to Bill Pay, tap the respective utility company, enter the information, and pay the bill. Then tap the transaction made. Tap Split the bill. Select Evenly. Send the request to who you are splitting the bill with, and get notified when they pay. Talk about making life easy and avoiding confusion. You can split the bill for restaurants, grocery stores, and for any eCash payment you make. To find your next yummy meal, hair treatment, or chill spot, simply open the app and utilize the geolocation service to see nearby businesses that accept eCash. Geolocation and bill payment make life a whole lot easier.
Sign up for Smart Share Plan and save big. Whether you're a small entrepreneur starting up your business, a student on a limited budget, or a family trying to save, this is the plan for you. With unlimited SMS, calls, and data, we help you save. Get up to 5 lines for as low as $30 per line monthly, only with Smart. Sign up today at any Smart showroom or sales manager countrywide. So get your business going, share more memories with friends, and be ready for the day with Smart.
Lord, we can't take it no more. Now with that's the choking sound of Dangriga Dream Ballers, who makes a lot of noise in the regular season of the BEBL, but always talks in the playoffs when it matters most. Buried alive in 2018 at the hands of the Category 5 Pettis Belize Hurricanes. In 2023, they somehow rose from the grave. So now, we've got a score to settle. Round 2 on our home turf. Let's go. This is what the Belize District has been waiting for. Payback time. And it's all going down this Friday, May 5 at the Belize Civic Center, 9 p.m. sharp. The rematch between your city favorites, Benny's Belize Hurricanes and the Dangriga Dream Ballers, fighting for home court advantage throughout the playoffs in a battle dubbed as Rice and Beans versus Hudut. Rice and Beans, nice. Nobody should want to miss this showdown where the top 2 teams in the BEBL, your Hurricanes, led by Glency Coupe Lopez, Victor Vito Evans, Kirk Shabba Smith, Jamel Harris, and Chris Fraser, go up against the Dream Ballers from Dangriga, who will answer with the big giant American import Dominique Woodson, Edgar Boogie Mitchell, and Jamel Campbell. This will be a war to the end. If a war, then a war to the end. Me not run left, my friend. Remember, this Friday night at 9, Benny's Belize Hurricanes versus Dangriga Dream Ballers. The halftime show will feature the hottest band in the land, Bossa B. Of the halftime entertainment will include the Benny's $4,000 half-court shot, as well as Smart and Cellular, cell phone and tablets giveaways throughout the game. There will also be a full-hour after-game party with Bossa B Band to end the Hurricanes' regular season homestand.
Hurricanes are one big family.
The after-party will be at Thirsty Thursdays. Sponsors.
Yo, respect the city. Love the game. Family, Belize Hurricanes. Hurricanes are one big family.
The month of May is celebrated as Pet Month. It recognizes domesticated animals that have secured a place in the hearts and homes of owners. But while we celebrate the domestication of pets, it is important to also recognize strays that have lost homes and owners due to neglect. Humane societies are usually the organizations that step in to aid ailing and roaming animals without owners. But there are also few good Samaritans that step in for the cause as well. Sabrina met one such person rescuing sick dogs in her neighborhood and tells us more in this week's Look on the Bright Side.
Bright Side is brought to you by Uno, a brand committed with the future.
If you come across Georgia Arana Lewis driving down the street in her neighborhood, you're likely to see a pack of dogs running towards a stranger who has somehow earned their trust. Neighbors have fondly dubbed her a local dog whisperer, kind of like Cesar Milan. But this canine lover is known for rescuing and rehabilitating stray dogs in Ladyville. She's been doing this for the better part of a decade. And if you ask her why, she'd simply reply,
because I need the help. It's just like something in me. When I first came back home, I was surprised to see like how many animals needed help. And it just went from there. You help one, another one comes along. And that's where I started, just feeling sorry for them.
Her bond with animals is evident, but it's the sight of sick puppies that softens her heart.
Before I pick it up, or even after I pick it up, I would ask like a friend, do you want a dog? And I'm known for that. And as long as you agree, I pick that dog up and bring it back to health and pass it on. So I can get another one, because that's why I pick up dogs. Like I would give one away, make sure it has a good home for adoption and give it away, and then I can move on to another dog at the time.
At one point in time, Arana Lewis had up to 8 dogs in her care. She explained the economic approach to caring for stray dogs.
It used to bother me in the beginning, where I used to get like really like sick with it. And the vet had told me one time when I had to take one and then put him to sleep, And she had told me, she said, you can't save all of them. That bothered me. Crab. Crab patty.
Crab.
And this one is a rogue.
Rogue.
That's a spoiled brat.
Uh-huh.
And that's a sneaky one. Stormy. Because it's cheaper for me, I give them, I worm them out myself. I buy stuff from the vet or from Reimers and I worm them out, and unless the dog is severe, then I take them to the vet. It's not as expensive as people think, because once I have the medication, the worm out and stuff, and I give them my stuff, that's all I need. If I go to the vet, it's not that much either. Like one of my worst dogs that was severe, cost me the most, I would say, to bring him back to health was maybe $100 Belize, and that's just being honest. But a lot of people think it's way more than what it is, but they just don't know. It's not as bad.
Currently, Georgia has 5 dogs at her home. Some are animals that were injured. Others were sent her way by community members. But she also has regular visitors that stop in for food, also without homes. And even one has an owner.
I have 5 currently. I have 2 that comes by and eat every day, faithfully. 1 just left before you came. I have this one, Taz, the new guy, Binks. I have 1 crab in the yard. And the reason people always, why did you name him Crab? One day I was going for a jog early in the morning, like about 5:30, and I heard this crick in the bush, in the bushes. And when I looked in the bushes, it was him, like about this size, tiny little things, like maybe about 4 pounds or less, eating a big crab. And so I picked him up and brought him home, and I named him Crab. So that's how he got that name. And the other one, Rogue, and then I have Storm, and those are all rescues.
May is recognized as National Pet Month, and over at the Animal Medical Center, Georgia is a regular visitor with her rescues.
She's really good at working in her community and talking with people in her community, and a lot of people go to her, and she realizes the importance of medical care that these animals need, and she'll assist as best as she can. And she forms a nice bridge between those who aren't familiar with bringing the animals to the vet, and she'll help and assist as quite a bit of her friends and the people in the area do go to her, and then we see those animals through her.
But after her pet's health is restored, finding forever homes for Georgia's rescues is also taken very seriously.
Animal welfare is a big issue, and I think as a nation, as people, as humanitarians, we need to take responsibility for these animals that we've domesticated. We should spay and neuter if we don't want to have a whole bunch of unwanted animals. Unfortunately, a lot of people can't support large litters, and they just let them to their own devices. And this can spread disease, and it spreads suffering.
There have been instances where she found a home for her rescued pets, but took them back upon learning that the dog was not receiving quality care.
Like 2 months I would go and peep on them or take meds for them, and sometimes if I have extra food, take food. You know, even if they don't need it, I would still give it to the dogs. And a couple times I went, he had too many ticks for me and too many fleas. So I'm like, okay, let me watch Crab for another time. And the second time I went back again, it was the same thing. And I decided after a year, I took him back. I brought him back home, and he's fine in the yard now. So I am that serious. And I hate the concept it's just a dog. That bothers me a lot. Because to me, it's not just a dog. And I don't think, you don't have to love dogs the way I do, but I think a lot of dogs get mistreated, and that's what, you don't have to mistreat them either. You know, you don't have to have them in the house like my baby is, but you don't have to mistreat them either, and that's my issue. And I think there's too many roaming out in public. I don't think it's healthy.
The phrase, "a dog is a man's best friend," is evident in the relationship between Georgia and her pets. But it's the love and loyalty that she experienced from these 4-legged friends that have kept them close to her heart.
I think they're just sweet. I think they're more loyal than most humans, to be honest. Like one day I came home and it was raining, and I pulled into the gate, and the other 2 were on the porch hiding from the rain, but Crab stood in that rain and getting poured on, waiting for his mom to pull in the gate. And that's what I love, you know. They're really loyal. And they have more love than most humans to me. They just cannot speak on it, but I think they do.
And for Georgia, Strays are just dogs waiting for someone to be loyal to. Looking on the bright side, I'm Sabrina Daly.
On the Bright Side was brought to you by Uno, a brand committed with the future.
From now on, when you visit Uno, you will experience an A+ power in all fuels. Dynamax has evolved into Dynamax Plus. The new formula with the ultimate technology and additives provides an A+ power and A+ performance. Dynamax Plus, available in diesel, regular and premium. Try it today and reach further. Uno, a different energy.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at channel5belize.com, on our Facebook, and on YouTube. I'm Annalyn Apollonia. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at News 5, have a happy and safe weekend. Good night.